What's up, YouTube? It's just Brandy, and let's talk love and hip hop. So, last night's episode of Love and Hip Hop was the season finale. We wrapped up the Costa Rica trip. We picked up where everybody was doing the activity on the beach where they were trying to burn whatever baggage that they had, like leaving negative stuff behind. So everybody was going around in a circle, you know, giving their touching moments and whatnot. Safari was just still mad because Joe had went off about the whole thing about Erica Mena being on the trip, so Safari was in his feelings. Yandy and Kimbella made up. Yandy apologized, which Kimbella said that was really all she wanted, because Yandy never takes accountability or responsibility and never apologizes for anything. So that was that part. When they went back to New York, we saw Rich Dollars, who also had a beef with Safari over the whole Erica Mena situation, because he said that he had personally asked Safari, he kept asking Safari if he was seeing Erica, because, you know, they had a previous relationship, he said 5 years ago, and Safari continued to tell him no, no, no. Joe tells him that's the same thing he was telling me when I was asking him, like, no, she be hitting me, but I ain't, you know, I ain't messing with her or whatever. So then it comes out that he proposed to her, and so they're like, but you ain't talking to her, but now you done proposed to her on Christmas Eve, I believe it was, which it was all on Instagram and everything like that. We also saw Joe propose to Sin Santana at his live show for the Joe Budden podcast, which was a touching moment, and you could tell it was definitely not staged. She did not know. It was so sweet. Like, she was literally shocked. And it was a real touching moment that also was on social media previously as well. And that happened back in December. We saw Joel Santana go to court to get his final sentencing. He was sentenced to 27 months for taking the firearm into the airport and playing the scene. So that was, you know, the wrap up of that, which he is beginning his sentence, I believe, now. I think he just turned himself in the other day to begin that sentence. They also showed the wedding between him and Kimbella, where conveniently the bridesmaids were Yandy, Sin, and Juju. So can we say thank you, Mona, for paying for this wedding, because obviously you paid for it and you picked the bridal party. It was also I believe Joel's brother and maybe his girlfriend, because it was one person that we did not know. LaRon James, that's Joel's name. Never knew his name was LaRon. But so, you know, they had their ceremony. It was nice. They didn't really show much of it, but a snippet. I saw more of their ceremony and their reception on Instagram back when they did get married, from people like Joe and Remy, and, you know, people that were actually at the ceremony. I don't know why Love and Hip Hop didn't make it more of a thing and dedicate more of the episode to it. Like I said, they just basically did like just a little snippet. And then at the end of the episode, we saw the birth of the golden child, Reminisce Mackenzie. I did not know that her name was Reminisce. I didn't know she was named after Remy. But that's cute. That's different. You don't meet a lot of people named Reminisce. So that was how the season wrapped up. Safari is mad at everybody, so we'll see if he even shows up to the reunion. He told Yandy that he is moving to Atlanta, which he showed everybody when he purchased his first home. I thought it was in New York. I didn't know that the home was in Atlanta, but smart thinking, because his money will go a lot further in Atlanta than it will in New York. So we'll see if he's going to be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because now he has went from Hollywood to New York, and now that he's moving to Atlanta, we'll see if he's going to be on that franchise. I'm not sure. They have a lot of people on that franchise, so you know they may not want him on there, but he burned all his bridges up in New York. So that was that. Mano showed that he has a new documentary coming called $1 at a Time, documenting, you know, what goes on in strip clubs. I think that's on UMC. I feel like I've been seeing commercials for that on that. There's an app, I think it's called UMC or something like that, where you can watch black content. But yeah, he wanted to follow the star tenders, but it's in this strip club, and you know, just following that scene. So you know, that was the wrap up. Overall, you know, it was a pretty decent season. I do feel like it was actually love and hip hop for the most part, you know, minus a few of the characters or whatever. But I do like it when, you know, it's Mano, it's Joe, it's Remy, you know, and it is the relationships of people that were in, you know, involved in the hip hop genre, Jewels and whatnot. So that's the season. Next week starts the reunion, and you know, everything always explodes at the reunion, so I can't wait to see how this reunion will be. Of course, there wasn't a lot of beef this season, so I don't know how entertaining it will be, besides the whole Safari thing, but we'll see, you know, how that goes. But that's my recap of Love and Hip Hop, and I will see you next week for the reunion part 1.